Right, so to get started, welcome everyone. My name's Candice and I'm happy to have you all here for this information session tonight. Basically, I'm going to go through the course details of our two degrees, so our associate degree and our bachelor degree, and then I'm happy to answer any questions you have on top of that at the end. So I am the head of academic delivery here at the Australasian College of Health and Wellness. And I have been in the industry for many years, so starting out with beauty and then building on from there. So a bit of background about me is I basically started with my beauty diploma, but that just really wasn't enough for me. So I continued my studies by then completing my Bachelor of Health Science in dermal therapy. And then over the years, I've managed many skin and laser clinics. I've worked alongside doctors and nurses. I've taught the graduate certificate in laser and IPO, and now I'm here at the Australasian College of Health and Wellness. So I'm really passionate about the need for qualifications and training in this industry, and I really help in working with others to let you guys expand your skills and knowledge that you have to really get a stronger industry happening for us all. So if you're looking to enhance your skills and gain a higher degree qualification in the field of aesthetics, then you've definitely come to the right place. So a little background about the Australasian College of Health and Wellness is we are a Taxa approved higher education provider. And Taxa is basically the regulations for higher education. So our courses are completely approved by them, and we're focused on the higher education side of things. So degrees in dermal therapy and in clinical aesthetics. So this is a really exciting industry that we're a part of, and it's always growing, which is amazing. So the speed of technology enhancement means that there's always something to learn. So there's growing demand for qualifications, and qualifications are now being more recognized and highly regarded, and this is really helping move the industry in the right direction. So having a degree qualification basically gives you a lot more credibility, and I'm really passionate about helping you achieve this. So our courses, so as I mentioned, we've got two degrees. We've got the associate degree in applied health science, dermal therapy, and the Bachelor of Applied Health Science, clinical aesthetics. So the associate degree is 2 years full-time, or the bachelor degree is 3 years full-time. Now, the associate degree and the bachelor degree, the 2 years are identical. So basically that means that there is an exit point after 2 years where you can still get a degree level qualification. Otherwise, you can go on to the 3rd year to get that higher bachelor level qualification. Now, our courses have been developed with a lot of industry input over the time. So this is really to help identify the current needs of employers and consumers out there in the industry. And we're really aimed at providing students with a much deeper understanding of the dermal science areas and the clinical practice. As you can see on this slide here, you'll see the structure of the degrees. So as mentioned, the first 2 years are identical for the associate degree and the bachelor degree, and then that 3rd year is just the bachelor level. A full-time study load is 4 subjects per semester, and you would do 2 semesters per year. Now you can see all of our subject titles here in this slide. However, if you want a bit more of a summary around all of those, there is more information and a breakdown of the units on our website. But basically, if you were to enroll full-time, you'd be doing 4 units twice a year. The part-time equivalent is 2 units, and then based around other things, some students may do 1 or 3 units at a time, depending on a few other factors. So what will you learn? Basically, you'll learn the skills and knowledge to really be able to analyze client conditions, really understand the skin, understand how what's happening inside the body affects what's happening outside the body, and develop treatment plans and other things based around science. You'll be confident to work within healthcare teams. So that means you may work with medical specialists, plastic surgeons, cosmetic surgeons, dermatologists, doctors, nurses, and so on. You'll also be able to really distinguish the difference between evidence-based practice and myths and misinformation. So this is a really big one in our industry, as there's lots of fads that come out every day with absolutely no research or science backing. And without really understanding how to research properly or where to look for quality information, it's really easy to become overwhelmed and completely misled by all of these things coming out. The industry opportunities that you would have if you do complete this degree, look, it's really broad, depending on what your main focus area is. So you may work alongside plastic surgeons or dermatologists. You may just work in a medi-spa doing your more advanced skin treatments. You could go into product development or product research, researching of more skin conditions. You could go into industry education, working with organisations to help and get regulations around the industry. So it really depends on where you're aimed at. Lots of our students would be managing or business owners, so that kind of field as well. So it really depends on where you want to go. You could take a very range of lots of different areas. The course content is basically broken down into 4 streams. So we have our clinical aesthetics practice stream. Now this stream is the subjects that have your clinical blocks in them. So basically the purpose of this stream is to really be able to put all of the theory that you've learned into practice. And in this stream you do have clinical blocks where you start practicing your treatments, you treat real clients, you're putting all your modalities that you're learning about into practice, and you're really being able to apply the science that you've learned into actual practical components. We then have the human biosciences stream. So this is all of your subjects around human biology, anatomy, physiology, stress, aging, and basically everything to do with all of our body systems. We then have the health communication and management stream. So this is like our business stream, and this is really good for assisting if you are in a management position or wanting to be in a management position or a business ownership position. It goes through some marketing, research, understanding where to find that evidence-based research. It also has a really interesting psychology subject in the 3rd year, which has gained quite a lot of interest of recent time because of how, important understanding why people are getting these kind of treatments are, and the impact that it has on you as a therapist when you're in clinic. So that's a really important one. And then we have the applied health science stream. So this is looking at the healthcare system, understanding where you fit within the healthcare system, understanding wellness, stress, aging, nutrition, and all kind of things in terms of how the body works, again, relating it to the outside of your skin. Some of the tools and equipment that you'll get to practice with in your clinical blocks are on this slide. So your manual lymphatic drainage, that's really important for if you do go and work with plastic surgeons or, that pre and post care for your surgery clients. Your micro, your peels, you've probably heard of those things. You've got electrical treatments, your fat burning treatments, laser IPL obviously is a big area, and your skin needling. The good thing though is we do always research what's coming out in the industry, and as I mentioned earlier, technology is always advancing. So basically when these new technologies do come out, we will be incorporating them into our clinics so that you're really up to date and current by the time you actually finish your degree. So That brings me to Terry. So Terry Everett, if you don't know him, he is our head of academic development. Now, Terry has been in the industry many years and is very highly regarded. And Terry is really someone that's going to be looking into our product, the degree, what modalities we're using, and making sure it aligns with the currency of the industry at the time. So Terry writes a lot of our materials and develops the content as needed as the industry advances. So Terry has a wealth of industry knowledge. He regularly presents at medical and aesthetic conferences and writes many articles for the industry. So you may have read some of his work, or you may have heard him if you have been to any of these conferences in the past. So yeah, he's really great to have on board for us. Our delivery mode is mainly online. So you have all your theory components are online. So basically that means that you get access to a learning management system, and basically you'll log in each week or each day, however you work it around your life schedule, and you can listen to your lecture recordings at any time. You can read your other reading materials, you'll have other videos, you may have discussions and things to participate in, but they're all able to be done within your own time. So there's no set times throughout the week that you do need to be available. You can actually work it around your own schedule and listen and read the content in your own time. And then you have different assessments as they come up throughout the semester. You then have your practical clinical blocks. So that is where you do get hands-on with clients and you're practicing basically everything that you've learned in your theory modules. You will then be able to put it to practice in your clinical blocks. So these practical block sessions are either once or twice a semester, depending on which practical component you're up to in the course. And you'll get lots of practice on clients, so lots of different skin types, lots of different conditions when you're in these sessions. So at the moment, we are holding these clinical blocks in major cities of New South Wales, Queensland, Victoria, and WA. So lots of options for you depending on which location you're at. Now, we do really believe in providing you with as much support as possible here. We do know that online learning can be quite lonely at times. So you'll have regular contact with your facilitators. You'll have regular contact with me at all times throughout your course. You'll also have regular contact with our success coach throughout your study journey. So you're never alone. You will also link you up to students within each state throughout. We have student mentors in each state, and there's a Facebook group. So they are there just for student-to-student support. They will organise little get-togethers for you all, little study sessions, coffee catch-ups, just so that it doesn't feel so isolated by yourself at any time. As mentioned, we do have a dedicated success coach. So this is Sarah, and we're really excited to have Sarah on board to basically help you with any additional one-on-one support in academic areas. So this may be time management or researching, assessment, exam preparation, things like, you know, writing your essays, understanding referencing. You do learn them as part of the degree, but if this is your first degree, it can be a little overwhelming to begin with. So Sarah is really able to provide you with that additional one-on-one support. So basically, you'll be able to book in time with her and she'll be able to go through anything that you need to go through and really give you that focus. So we're really excited to have her on board. Another great thing that you'll get access to is you'll get access to AIM short courses. So we are in partnership with the Australian Institute of Management, and they have a large range of short courses in many areas of business that you can really enhance your skills further and basically set you apart from the rest. So there are over 70 short courses that you'll have free access to. So some of these would include digital marketing, all of your finance areas, people management, conflict resolution, and so many more. So they can really help if you're thinking of going into management, enhancing your business, going into business ownership for the first time, and just overall professional development. Students will also receive a one-year membership to APAN. So APAN, if you haven't heard of them already, is the Aesthetics Practitioners Advisory Network, and they're an amazing network to be a part of. So they work extensively with government bodies to really represent the industry and push for the right regulations. They hold annual conferences, so this is a really amazing way to network amongst other like-minded individuals and to keep up with what's happening in the industry as we go. If you have done any prior qualifications, you may be eligible for recognition of prior learning. So if you've got extensive industry experience, if you've done other courses in beauty, business, nursing, all of these may be eligible to actually get you time off the degree. So anything that you've done prior may not be a waste of time. You may actually be able to put it towards this degree. So this is assessed on an individual basis, but basically if you're providing the evidence, we can do a thorough analysis and see if it actually gets you any of these subjects off the degree, which can make things a little bit easier. So for an example, if you've completed a beauty diploma, that would get you 2 subjects off the degree. Also, if you have extensive experience in the industry on top of that and can provide evidence, you may get a little more. If you've completed a Bachelor of Nursing, you may get up to 7 subjects off the degree. So that's quite a big one. That's basically almost a year off the degree. So we are getting a lot of nurses enrolled, because nurses, although they are able to do injectables, they actually haven't done the skin, real focus on the skin and other treatments. So that's a really good pathway where you don't have to do a full degree all over again for nurses. So our admission requirements, if you've recently completed the HSC, an ATAR of 65 or above, if you've been accepted into another university degree program, that is okay too. Some people may have completed a tertiary preparation program, so we accept that as well, and just an English level of 6.5 or equivalent. Also, if, you know, it may have been a long time since you've studied or you finished school, so there is special entry for 21 years or over. We can also have an admissions interview with you and looking at your resume and detailed work experience. So we, again, will go through this with you on an individual basis if you are interested. If you're not sure if you meet any of these requirements, don't hesitate to contact us anyway and we can talk you through it. This year we do have 4 intakes. So we have our February intake commencing on the 18th of February, and then we have an intake in April, July and September. So if you are interested in applying, you can download an application form from our website. You can then just email us the form and we will be in contact quickly from there. So that's an overview of our courses. So I'm happy to take any extra questions now if you do have any questions. So if you do, just type them into the chat box and I'll just answer them as we go. So the price of so Amy has just asked the price of the course. So you can find a full schedule of fees on our website. Basically, the theory units are 1,950 and the practical units are 2,200. If you are getting recognition of prior learning, so if you are exempt from doing any particular subjects, we are currently not charging you for those subjects. So that would be off the price of the degree. So depending on how many subjects you get, you would get a certain amount of money off the degree. We also have access to fee help. So you have the option to either pay up front for your units as you enroll in them, or you can defer your fees to fee help. So that's the government loan scheme. So if you don't know how that works, basically what they do is the government pays for your units, and then once you earn over a certain amount of money, they just deduct a small percentage from your pay as you go. So Kirsty has just asked how long and how often are the practical components. So depending on which practical subjects you're up to, you'll either have a 5-day block at the end of the semester or 2 3-day blocks. So one about a mid-semester and one at the end of the semester. And they're full days for each of those blocks, and basically you'll just get, during those times, you would have already learnt the theory of all the modalities that you'll be using during those times, and then they'll just be focused on practicing on lots of clients and each other during those blocks. And Maneka, yes, a Bachelor of Health Science would definitely get credits because this is a Bachelor of Applied Health Science, so there will be a lot of crossing over there. So if you do want some more information about that specific to you individually, you can definitely email us at admissions@tac.edu.au and let us know what you studied. So if you've got a copy of your transcript, and then we can get you, I can give you a better idea of exactly how many credits that would give you. And okay, so Shani's just asked if you, yeah, so from what you understand, you study at home. So yes, for starters, yes, you do study at home. So in your own time, all the theory components, the only time that you do have to attend is your clinical blocks. How many hours a week? Look, it does vary from person to person. Basically, each subject will have at least each week you'll have at least a 1-hour lecture to listen to, and then you have other reading materials and possibly a few other short videos and things. So you will need that amount of time. Then you'll also just need your time to prepare for your assignments. So basically it's up to about 10 hours per subject per week. However, it will vary depending on how much you want to get out of the course, where you want your marks to be, and how well you are at preparing for your assessments. Our success coach can help you out with a time management plan and scheduling it into your work life as well, just to make it suit you for your individual. But yes, definitely most of it can be done from home in your own time. So the full-time load is 4 subjects per semester. So look, it can be up to 40 hours a week. Look, it's usually not that much per week unless you've got assessments to prepare for, but it does vary dependent on how well you can take in the information and how your study skills are. And there are no extra costs, so you don't need to buy kits or books or anything like that. You will have access to our online library, and that will have your resources where you can do all your research assignments and get all of that. We'll have some recommended readings. We do provide you with a list of other things, like if you are wanting to buy extra textbooks or read further, we can provide you with a list of things. However, for you to be able to complete the course, there won't be any hidden costs or extra money that you need. So when you come into the clinics, all of the products and everything that you use are part of those clinics. So Kat has just asked, once you're qualified, is there a registering body, for example, APRA for a nurse? So that's a really great question. If you do the bachelor level, you will be recognised with the Society of Dermal Clinicians, and as mentioned in the slide, so you also are recognised with APAM. So they're the two bodies at the moment that our industry really has, and they're really good for keeping up to date with industry, but also really pushing for more regulations and more clarifications around our titles. So yes, you can definitely be a part of those. They also recognise they have an option for student membership. So even while you're studying, you can be a part of them as a student at a student level. So Amy, you've just asked how much is done in the city. So all that you'd need to go into the city for would be your practical blocks. So that would be either 2 3-day blocks in the semester if you're doing a practical subject, or 1 5-day block at the end of the semester. So it just depends which you're up to in terms of what modalities you're learning as to when you have those blocks. We do give you plenty of notice though, and if you're doing part-time, it is only one subject out of the 4 that has a practical component, so you may not do practical every semester. So when we do your subject enrollment, I can let you know if there is practical required for any of the subjects and when you would need to attend those. And Marlena, no need to purchase any textbooks. So Kirsty's asked if there's any other study needed to be qualified for injectables. And yes, that's a really great question because it does come up a lot. To do injectables, you still need to be a registered nurse or a doctor. So unfortunately, this won't qualify you to do injectables. From this degree, you could then go on to do your Masters of Nursing and then be able to do injectables. Or you could also do a Diploma of Nursing, which means that you get an EN, and then there's another short course that you can do to qualify you to be able to do injectables from that. So as mentioned before, we do actually get a lot of nurses, although they can do injectables, they still come through and do this degree because nursing is such a broad qualification that you don't get those, you don't get that specific understanding of the skin. So our practicals, Amy, so yeah, in each state, so Victoria, they're done in Melbourne, New South Wales are done in Sydney, Queensland is Brisbane, and WA is in Perth. Was there any other questions? Yeah, so Kat has just asked if after this course you can go on to do the Master of Nursing even though you haven't done the Bachelor, and that is correct. Now, in saying that, not every university accepts it, but there's definitely universities that do accept it because this is a Bachelor of, it is a Bachelor of Applied Health Science, so there are certain universities that will accept you in to do a Master of Nursing without having done a Bachelor of Nursing. And Shani, yes, part-time, the associate degree. So the associate degree full-time would be 2 years. So if you were to do part-time, it would be 4 years. However, if you did have recognition of prior learning, you may be able to get some time off that. Any other questions I can help anyone with? If there is something, just for everyone, if there is something that you think of later tonight, don't hesitate to contact us. So I do have the email address on the screen again now. So feel free to just write that down. And if you think of any questions that come up a bit later, you can email us. And also, if you are ready to apply, then there's just that link there where you'll see where to get an application form. All right, so I think that's the end of the questions. Nothing else has come through now. So thank you for attending, and I hope to have another chat with you or speak to you at some point in the future. So don't hesitate to contact us for any more information. All right, enjoy your evening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.